YouTube Niner Empire, the 49ers are in the playoffs. What a hell of a game by this team. Down 17 in the first half. Shortly before the half ended, the 49ers were able to get a field goal by Robbie Gould, which was pretty big considering the 49ers got the ball after half and drove down immediately after the half was over, scored the football, and 27-7 is what Sean McVay was outscored as soon as he ran out on the field when the Rams took the 17-0 lead and started celebrating with his players. Right after that moment, he was outscored 27-7. I mean, now Jimmy Garoppolo is undefeated, has never lost to the Los Angeles Rams, and that was a moment, right before disaster hit for Sean McVay. Never celebrate too early in the NFL because you never know what will happen. And that Sean McVay moment is a prime example of that. I don't even know what to say. I mean, this team persevered, battled through the whole game. It was a trench war. It was one of them games where you were on the edge of your seat the whole entire game, but the 49ers battled through all that and came out with a dub. And now they are playoff bound. And they're going to be taking on the Cowboys in Jerry World in Dallas next weekend for Wild Card Weekend. It can't get much better than that. Niners Cowboys obviously have a very, very rival kind of vibe. Just throughout the history of them two teams playing each other, every Niners fan knows, every Cowboys fan knows that it's a rivalry. And you cannot get much better than that, playing the Cowboys in the Wild Card Weekend in the 2021-2022 season. Who would have thought at the beginning of the season we'd be getting a Niners-Cowboys round one playoff matchup, Wild Card Weekend? I mean, that's as good as it gets. Cannot wait for that game. But anyway, Jimmy Garoppolo, man, every time you try to write the guy out, he does something, and it seems like he evens out everything that every interception he's ever threw. It almost seems like he evens it out with small little drives that are in the most important, stages of a game. Every time you try to write the guy out, I mean, he turns around and he does something good. Jimmy G was throwing interceptions today. There was one that was arguably just a great play by Jalen Ramsey. It was the tip ball by Jalen Ramsey. It was a hell of a play. Jalen Ramsey's a great player, arguably the best corner in the game, and that's why the Rams, traded for him and are paying him so much because he's making plays like that. But that was just a great play by Ramsey. It was a bad throw by Jimmy, but better play by Ramsey, I guess you could say. I don't know. But either way, he threw a pick then, and he threw a pick earlier than that in quadruple coverage. It was like an overthrow. I don't know if the receiver had stopped. I can't really remember exactly what happened. All I know is that he threw it up in like triple coverage, and it was picked off. I believe it was Rapp that picked it off, but Taylor Rapp, I think it is. But yeah, other than those two interceptions, Jimmy G, I mean, he didn't have the best game by any means. Everybody kind of knows that if you watch the game. His completion percentage was there, and he threw for pretty good yardage, but the touchdown and interception ratio has always been a consistent inconsistency for Jimmy G. And obviously, no matter what, he's going to be gone next season, but you have to appreciate and respect what Jimmy G did for this Niners team in that final drive of the game. Really in all reality, tying the game up, hitting Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings had a hell of a game today. I believe he had 2 touchdowns today. Stepped up big time. Juwan Jennings is basically, seemingly what it seems like, is basically the new Kendrick Bourne of this team. He's that guy that, is very energized. I'm not going to compare, his enthusiasm to Kendrick Bourne's because Kendrick Bourne's is damn near unmatched. But Juwan Jennings is a great player. Plays with energy. He reminds me a lot of Kendrick Bourne as well, and he's only getting better. Juwan Jennings has had a really good season for being a rookie. So Yeah, big plays today from Juan Jennings helped big time. I mean, everybody really stepped up. We didn't have Trenton Williams. Jimmy G was getting hit. He was getting sacked, pressured all game. Um, and that's what the Rams do. The Rams have one of the best defensive lines in football. I mean, I believe it was 47 total sacks this season for the Rams, which is sixth most in the NFL. So that's just one thing about that defense. And then you look at their secondary, and Ramsey, Rapp, all those corners they have. Von Miller, a lot of people kind of forget that he's on the team. He played very well today. Um, Von Miller had that sack on Jimmy G on a 3rd and long with 1 minute to go in the game, and I mean it was looking like it was seemingly going to be over. And then you look at the Saints game and the Falcons game, and the Falcons are getting their salad tossed against the Saints. So I mean, the 49ers had to beat the Rams in order to get in. There was going to be no help considering the Saints beat the Falcons, and that's exactly what they did. I said before. The game, the 49ers just need to do their part and win, so they don't have to worry about anybody else kind of helping them out in order to get into the playoffs. That's what they did. Hell of a game. That was probably the best Niners game all season. The way they were down by 17-0, scored shortly before the second half, or before halftime. Kicked the field goal, came out, instantly scored on the first possession, which was huge. Not on the first possession. Well, I guess it was the first possession. But yeah, came out of the second half, scored, cut it to a 7-point lead. Defense stepped up big time. Samson Ebukam has been an animal this season. He's kind of underappreciated, I feel like, for that defensive line. Samson Ebukam was a great signing by this 49ers team. For the Niners to go out and get a player from the Rams, a division rival, as good as Samson Ebukam was, and then him, making a big impact today. Eric Armstead was getting pressures. Arden Key, Nick Bosa, I believe, had a sack. Him and Armstead were eating. So just a great game by this 49ers team. And Ambry Thomas, he's been so close throughout the last month, 5 weeks of football, getting interceptions. He hasn't really turned around and looked at the ball as much. He'll play the receiver. Ambry Thomas has been very, very good for this Niners team. Out of Michigan, he's a rookie. Ambry Thomas, I mean, listen, the 49ers corner room is bad. Other than, I think, Emmanuel Mosley, that corner position is seemingly bad. And it's good to see a player like Ambry Thomas being a rookie, stepping up when it's needed most, with Josh Norman getting benched, stepping up and making the probably one of the biggest plays of the season, arguably the biggest play of the season, with the interception at the end of the game. And like I said, Ambry Thomas has been close. He's dropped interceptions. He's played very well. He's played physical. He's played on receivers in very good coverage, and receivers have scored on him. So it was about due for Ambry Thomas to make a play, and he did it in the biggest moment of the season, and clinched a playoff berth for the 49ers. So hell of a game by everybody involved. The whole offense. Deebo Samuel played out of his mind again. He seemingly plays out of his mind every time we play the Rams. He's played out of his mind all season. Debo's just a hell of a player. I mean, you can't really say anything but that. He's the arguably the core of our offense. The offense runs through Deebo Samuel, and I'm glad it does, because without him, we're not in the playoffs, and I think everybody can agree on that. He's had an historic season, one of the best players in the 49ers all around. Deebo, he's that guy, and he stepped up, obviously, against the Rams. I knew Deebo would play well. They get Deebo in the run game and in the passing game. He was throwing touchdowns. He threw a touchdown to Juan Jennings. There's nothing that guy can't do. You can say so much about Deebo Samuel, but I'll just keep it short. He's like I said, without Deebo Samuel, we're not in the playoffs, and we don't have 10 wins, and we don't sweep the Rams, that's for sure. But just thankful for him to be on the team. And like I said, just a pivotal part of this offense. I'm not trying to like gush over Debo here, but I mean it's true. He's just that guy. Debo's just Debo, man. I don't know how else to say it. But either way, George Kittle was involved here and there. I felt like I still feel like the Niners just don't get him involved as much as they need to. But we're winning games with the way we're playing George Kittle. I don't know. I just feel like now I will say this: he has been more involved this season than he did last season, which is a good thing. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Niners can win either way when he's not, you know, when he's not that big of a factor. But then again, George Kittle being one of the best tight ends in the NFL, a lot of defenses are going to, you know, game plan around him strictly. And, yeah, so George Kittle will come alive. I mean, we're going to be in the playoffs next week against Dallas. I would expect him to, you know, have a typical George Kittle game in the passing game. So hopefully, you know, I don't even know what to say. This game against the Cowboys is going to be insane. The energy, the Niners fans will be there. I bet there will be just as much Niners fans there as there will be Cowboys fans, and that's going to be huge because, you know, it's a wild card game. We're in the playoffs now. It's win or go home. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for the video. Niners big win. A hell of a game. Best game all season, no doubt. And, yeah, shout out to Ambry Thomas for getting us, clinching that playoff berth and adding a cherry on top with the interception at the end. Shout out to Jimmy G, obviously, for you know, coming there at the end and, you know, for getting everything that happened before in the game and getting us this win, helping us get us this win. He made big plays when it needed, and hats off to Jimmy G. But either way, I'm going to be posting a lot of videos this upcoming week. This is a massive game, obviously. Niners-Cowboys. It can't get much better than, you know, that Niners-Cowboys and the wild card round. So there's going to be a lot of videos this week. So stay tuned for that. Preview videos, just talking about the game in general. So with that being said, as always, go Niners and playoffs.